Hi, Nadia. Thank you for joining us. And let's get right into this. Nadia, if you could walk us through the conviction that Parle Agro had when entering a category like dairy, that too with flavored milk, because it's got some formidable players.
So to start with, the launch of Smooth is extremely special for us as an organization. We've been wanting to launch into the dairy beverage segment for some time now, but there are a couple of things that we always look forward to ensuring our products have before we go into the market. And one very big factor is that when we enter into the market with any new brand or new product, we really look at how to disrupt the market and really enter the market with something that's a very unique proposition. You're right in saying that there are a lot of large players or large companies that have, flavored milk beverage offerings out there. For us, while we've been dabbling with this category for some time in terms of, our R&D, we felt that to really make a strong mark in this category, we needed to be able to innovate enough to be able to launch a product at a price point that would allow for flavored milks to be accessible to everyone. Today, we're one of the first brands to launch flavored milk, very premium offering. I'm not sure if you've tried our product, but you must. It's an incredible product that's priced at 10 rupees. And in spite of having just been in the market today for maybe 77 days, almost since the time of launch, we've garnered 69% market share in the flavored milk category across pack formats, with the two variants that we have, and in a Tetra Pak pack. So we do, it's not really for me to say the markets themselves have seen it. It's already out there in terms of the result of our thinking and the outcome of our thinking. Most products in this category are priced at 20 rupees and higher. For a market where flavored milk has not yet been really developed as much as a lot of other beverage categories, pricing at such a high premium makes it very difficult for new consumers to sort of come into the portfolio of flavored milks. With the 10 rupee price point, we've been able to, reach more than 900,000 retail outlets already, in just a very, very short span of time. And, we look forward to really growing that reach to over 2 million in time to come. This is really very much just the beginning for us.
When it comes to marketing, one of the most iconic mascots is also from the dairy industry in India, and that is the Amul girl. So could you take me through the thought process of when you entered the category and you sort of formulated the marketing plan? And of course, you have Varun Dhawan as the face of the brand. But what sort of went on in sort of the war room while deciding the marketing strategy for this particular brand?
If I may say so, when we are looking at this particular category, and which is the dairy beverage category, whether it's with the flavored milks that we have right now or other offerings that we will soon launch in time to come, we're not looking at it purely as just competing with the existing players that are out there. We believe that this category has tremendous potential that has yet to be explored and captured. So our entire thought process, our vision is really looking at how to expand the category, how to grow the category. Like I mentioned, that in such a short span of time to have achieved or have marked a 69% market share is a very, very big big deal in one way, but it also goes to show that the potential is only that much larger. So for us, our entire approach with our marketing has been very much in line with the way we approach marketing on the rest of our beverages. it's a lot more current. It's a lot more, keeping in mind the consumers of today and the real need within marketing of FMCG brands today. A few years ago, we embarked on an approach of building our brands through the power of design. And when you look at our campaigns, with Varun, the entire Smooth campaign has really focused on strongly establishing the brand in top of mind of consumers, through the very, very, bright colors and the overall visual language that we have defined for the brand. That really puts us out there. And I think that, it's incredible to say that, over the last few weeks that the marketing campaign has really rolled out, the number of people who've been talking about it, and the number of, the amount of attention that it has caught, it's not necessarily because of the amount of budget being put behind it, but it is also for the fact that the work, through its very visual approach, really stands out and makes that mark. So our approach with marketing, with communication, is really based on simplicity. And that is something that is, sometimes I say it's an art. It's much more challenging to simplify. We're all in a habit of really overcomplicating things sometimes. And sometimes just going on a brief of simplicity is very, very challenging. But our approach focuses on really, establishing the brand, building top of mind, ensuring that people know what the product is, and feel the need to go and try it. And I guess that has really been where this huge outcome of whether it's the market share or the scale at which we've been able to expand through our distribution has come from the curiosity and intrigue that we've created.
So, when you say that, the simplicity aspect of it, and then where does a celebrity endorser like Varun Dhawan sort of figure in that thought process?
I think that what's really important is that, maybe something that's not as spoken about is that, chocolate milk or flavored milk, we have chocolate and toffee caramel. Both our product offerings have a very, unique benefit, which is that it really gives you that spurt of energy when you need it. And it's just the right quantity where you're not overindulging, but whether it's, after an exhausting day or in between meals when you're hungry, or after a workout, before a workout, there's so many instances where, people need that instant energy. And there aren't too many offerings out there that give it to you, that are well balanced in terms of the overall value that it's providing. For us, the synergies between the brand and Varun Dhawan have been incredible. I think he's really just that spurt of energy that our brand also stands for. And when you're looking at driving a brand and creating scale, it's just been our experience over the last few years that having a brand ambassador that does have that scale already creates much greater relatability, or faster relatability, I would say. So it really helps you to achieve your goals at a faster pace. And the brand synergies, in terms of the values that he brings to the brand, I think that the synergies have been really strong. I'm not sure if you've seen our campaign, but it's really just energizing, and it brings out the basic value of the brand.
Perception drives a lot of business when it comes to FMCG, and now with parents becoming increasingly conscious about added sugar in what their kids consume, it's important for products to, perception wise, tackle this perception of like, yes, there's sugar in it, but it's healthy. So how do you sort of balance that? You've addressed a bit of this when you mentioned how you envision the product being used. But if you could elaborate a little bit more on tackling that perception that, flavored milk with added sugar is unhealthy.
I think this is a very large subject in general, and but there are a couple of things that I can share over here. One is with our product, with Smooth, to start off with, we're already at, our, if you look at the sugar content in our product versus others within the category, we are already on the lower side. But if I was to look at a much larger perspective on this, today, while this might be a concern, in India, consumption of products with sugar is a very large part of general Indian lifestyle, and the shift has to come, and it perhaps will come, but it's still very far away as compared to when you compare to other parts of the world. There are two ways of really looking at it. One is also looking at in terms of reducing the quantum of sugar in the in your product, but the other is also reducing quantity of the product. I think that one of the best parts that make our product such a perfect offering to consumers is that we're an 85 ml product. So today, when I'm a mother of two as well, and if my kids were opting to buy a 10 rupee perhaps chocolate versus a 10 rupee chocolate milk, which has less than a teaspoon of sugar, I think that that's a great offering. And it compares very positively and helps consumers sort of change the trend, in a gradual way, in a manner that they do still appreciate the product, but at the same time, the content of sugar is controlled. So even as an organization, we believe that we will also drive this shift over a period of time in a manner that consumers find it easier to accept, versus just having a sugar-based product and then having a artificially sweetened product. I think that there are healthier ways of doing it, and there are better ways of doing it, and which is something that we hope with Smooth, it would be a great first example of how to go about making a shift, in this trend.
Coming to the fruit-based beverage portfolio, currently, like, where does the portfolio stand? Does Fruity continue to be your flagship product? And if you could just elaborate a little bit on the plans for the fruit-based drinks.
The fruit-based beverage portfolio, of course, continues to be our largest portfolio, with our fruit-based sparkling drinks as well as our fruit-based still drinks. Fruity, of course, continues to be our flagship, with both Appy Fizz and Bee Fizz, which was another product that we launched last year, both doing extremely well. And there's a great balance between our sparkling fruit-based beverages and our still beverages, our still fruit-based beverages. The category over the last decade has really done very well. We've been able to see our distribution itself grow tremendously, and we continue to invest heavily in across these categories, to further build market share, as well as further keep growing our distribution. Today, over the span of a decade, we've been able to cross 2 million stores now with our flagship brands, and we continue to look at building that year after year.
And in terms of growing the portfolio, it's a two-pronged approach, right? You grow your existing brands and you add to the portfolio. So any plans that you can reveal on either front, or both, if we are lucky?
Nothing that I can reveal about the future. Of course, there are lots of products in the offing. Over the next 12 months, we will see across different categories, whether it's in dairy or fruit-based, a lot of different products that will be out there. In the last few years itself, we've already launched, Smooth, as you know, and then last year we launched Bee Fizz, which is a fruit-based sparkling drink. Again, a big innovation in the category, and again, a huge disruption in terms of the scale at which we've been able to, at which we built it, which has been a great accomplishment. So we're really looking forward to growing now these two brands and these two categories quite dramatically, now that we see COVID sort of moving out of our lives and a lot more normalcy setting in, hopefully. So we're really looking forward to building this further.
Do you see the fruit juice category sort of threatening fruit-based juice? If I may elaborate, A fruit drink would be something like an appy or a fruity, whereas a brand like Tropicana or Real, they're fruit juices. Do you think they're going to sort of compete and do fruit drinks, then fruit juices, then sort of pose a threat to your portfolio of fruity, appy, etc.?
Not at all. I think that today, forget what I think, if we just look at it from the point of view of the data and what data says to us, I think that the category of 100% juices has shrunk from 800 crores to, I believe, barely 200 crores today. So, the 100% juice category, unfortunately, in India has not really established strongly, and brands within that segment have also been forced to look at developing their drinks portfolio. Whether it is from a pricing perspective that has really led to the decline of that category, or whether it is package or its product. I really can't say at this point, but I don't really see that as a threat. I think that it's a great opportunity. The 100% juice market is a very big opportunity. It's really about getting it right, and who knows, maybe we'll be the ones to do it.
You've mentioned quite extensively about how you do realize as a company that health has to come first, and you are doing what you can with something like Smooth to sort of further the agenda of healthy snacking, healthy drinking. But how do you demonstrate it in terms of letting the world know that, hey, look, we are doing this and we are healthier options? How do you do that, or how are you doing that?
I think that consumers today are also a lot more aware in any case, as compared to the past. And today, all our products, we don't operate in any of the synthetic categories. So whether it's our sparkling drinks, they're all fruit based. Whether it's our still drinks, they're all fruit based. With Smooth, it's again a dairy beverage. So we don't operate within the synthetic category. I think that we've established that over time. We haven't really gone aggressively talking about it as such, but I think that we have established that as a company over time already. Whether it's through our marketing or actually just on our packaging itself, they say packaging is the first form of advertising. So on our packaging itself, I believe that we've got a lot of information that's going out, which helps us establish that quite strongly.
Fruity was one of the first, or perhaps the first, to introduce, the Tetra Pak. And now, as the world shifts to, the environment awareness is at an all-time high. So stuff like plastic straws or Tetra Packs, especially in metros where they may litter public places, all of this is under the scanner, right? So people are paying attention to it. How do you see the future of packaging in this case? And do you think that when it comes to beverages, the glass bottle could probably make a comeback in some form and not the other?
In fact, the glass bottle is as or probably more environmentally damaging as compared to you can't really relate it just back to plastics. There's a lot of reasons why glass is also impacting the environment in a very big way. Having said that, I think that this is a much larger subject that is not just dependent on companies like us, but it is also dependent on a lot of the infrastructure that needs to be created for waste management itself, and a lot of other consciousness that needs to be built around waste management. I don't think any company on its own is going to be able to improve the situation, but there are a lot of great examples. We ourselves ensure that we're investing heavily in recycling, where almost 100% of our PET production also goes into recycling, amongst a lot of other initiatives which we've spoken about in the past. It's been all over the news when we initiated it. Uh, you know, there are, of course, as we go forward, a lot of developmental work that will take place in different materials, different types of packaging. But like I said, I think that this is a subject that needs involvement of various people, not just companies, in really putting together a system for the country that can help us, improve our waste management and make sure that we're more environmentally friendly overall as a system.
Nadia, you'd also set yourself a target of 10,000 crore in sales by 2022. So how close are you? Is it on track? And has the pandemic sort of affected that plan of action in any way at all?
Well, as of now, it looks like we should achieve those goals, much before our target of end of 2022. We're hoping to achieve them by this year itself, end of this year. Of course, the pandemic had an impact, but we also had to massive launches during the pandemic, with Smooth and BFizz both being at a scale that we didn't in fact expect. It was far higher than our expectation as well. But both the two launches have impacted us positively, keeping us on track, and in fact, like I said, a little bit perhaps hopefully before our target date.
A last couple of things, Nadia. One is, and since you have a significant portfolio in beverages now, this whole debate between, celebrities choosing to be health conscious, and I would put health conscious in the quote unquote. So, what's your outlook on this? Because you do work with a fair few brand endorsers, right? So you have Alia, you have Varun, and then you have Down South Junior NTR, and you have Priyanka Chopra. And most of these people are also, on Instagram, you do see their fitness videos or them coming out of a gym, going into a gym. As a brand owner or an owner of multiple brands, in fact, how do you tackle this perception that, people are becoming more health conscious, so brand endorsers should not endorse this, or brand or celebrity should not endorse a particular product?
Well, all I can say is I'm really happy that the perception of all the brands that we make is positive enough that we've never faced a concern from any celebrity wanting to endorse or not wanting to endorse our brands. We're a company that manufactures fruit-based beverages. All our sparkling drinks are also fruit-based. Smooth is our dairy offering. We've had great support from all our brand ambassadors, all of whom really value our vision as well as what we're really doing out there with the various brands, and our outlook towards the category and what we're building. So we've never really encountered such a situation.
Is there any celebrity that you would sort of want endorsing a Parle Agro product like that? That's like your one celebrity that you would want on the roster?
We have a great many number of them, and in fact next year we're going to see a very exciting year with a very large number of ambassadors joining our portfolio, like you said, with our growing portfolio as well as with a lot of regional specific work that we are doing. We have actually some of the best, probably the topmost celebrities across Bollywood, Tollywood, all of it are part of our portfolio, and we're very happy to have them, and we've really had great experience working with all of them, and we work very, very collaboratively, and that allows them to own our vision as well, and we believe hugely in that approach.
Lastly, Nadia, any branding marketing tips that you can share, because you've had nearly 2 decades of like overseeing brands like Appy and Fruity, of course. So top 3 tips maybe.
I don't know. I don't have really any tips to share. I think marketing is just a subject that's so dynamic. It's constantly evolving. You need to be open to, changing constantly and open to newness. Often I think that a lot of people are frightened by something that they don't understand or something that's too new. I think that really taking chances and exploring new areas is always a great way to disrupt in the market. Challenging your creative partners to deliver something that's really disruptive is a great way to make a mark out there, and working with the best. I think that. For us it's really about, like I said already, simplicity has been a big mantra. I think that it's funny to say the day we discovered it, but but it is true, the day we discovered the power of simplifying, we've never really looked back, and we really focus a lot on creating impact through simplicity. And it's been a great way to build memorable brands that deliver their messages simply.
Thank you so much, Nadia. If there's anything else that you may want to add, because I've asked you what I had in front of me. In case you feel there's something that you want to add, please feel free.
No, I think you've covered it all, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much.